Can y'all believe it's been 12 years?
If it wasn't for Tony, oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming back with a very expected video. Y'all know what today is. Today marks 12 years since Michael Jackson unfortunately physically transitioned, physically passed away. And it's kind of like because you know, his spirit, his soul, his energy is always around. His legacy is still around, still alive, still thriving. But 12 years since Michael Jackson passed. And it's like, this is a spontaneous video. You know, for my tribute videos on the death anniversaries, I always try to come up with all these ideas like, what can I do? For Aaliyah's in August, I got a very special one. Look out for that. But for Michael Jackson, it's been 12 years. I've made so many videos on Michael Jackson. And y'all, most of y'all know who watch me all the time. Y'all know my journey. Y'all know Michael Jackson is a major reason why I even started YouTube or even created a channel back in 2009. And my whole journey with becoming a fan and everything. And over the last 12 years, and I thought, I'm like, what kind of video can I make for a tribute? And it just, so I said, you know what? This is a spontaneous video. This is just me relaying my thoughts about being a fan over the last 12 years, his legacy, and all the amazing people I've gotten to meet and befriend because of the connection we have as Michael Jackson fans, and how the friendship goes beyond that. And talking about from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, when that was still popular. And it's just like, wow. And you know, the experience I had with being a Michael Jackson fan, and this is the thing, even I'm gonna go deep into this. I even made a whole video about this, with the celebrity worshiping. It's not about worshiping Michael Jackson. Like, Michael Jackson's the greatest to ever do it. We all know, people call him the king of pop, the greatest entertainer, but it goes beyond that. It's like, oh my God, like, he's a godly figure. Michael Jackson was a human like all of us. He made his mistakes. He wasn't perfect. He just had an extraordinary talent that he showcased to the world since he was young. And I got a story about this shirt I'm gonna share with y'all. And I got a lot of different, I got like 2 or 3 stories I really want to share with y'all about like being a Michael Jackson fan when I first became one. And because I was a Michael Jackson fan, but I didn't really become a fan until after he passed. You know, at the time I was 13. I'm 25 now. It's been 12 years, and it's just a lot I've been thinking about. This is a real spontaneous video, and it's just to celebrate Michael Jackson's legacy, to celebrate Michael Jackson as an artist, to celebrate his talent and how much he gave of himself to us. You know, he had this talent, he had this fame, but at the cost of the fame and all the money and all the wealth and all the notoriety he got and all the awards and accolades he got, he risked and he gave up his sanity, his peace. But this is just my thank you to Michael Jackson, my celebration of Michael Jackson, and my tribute to Michael Jackson 12 years later. So, getting into my first story time about this shirt. I don't know if y'all could tell, but it fits me a little big. And here's the thing, I've had this shirt for officially 12 years now. And like I said, it fits me a little big, and this is the reason. Because back in, this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was 2 days after Michael Jackson passed, and y'all know how it is, especially in New York City, in Harlem, 125th Street, next to the Apollo. It was a big thing for like a week and a half. It was a huge thing. It had his name in the marquee. Everybody was doing tributes and dressing like him, doing dance tributes, and y'all know how it is. Y'all see it on the news. Right next to the Apollo, it's always a celebration. There's a whole bunch of news people mobbing. It was a whole mob of people outside of the Apollo just dancing. But also, y'all know how it is when a celebrity dies, right? A big celebrity, especially like Michael Jackson. Yeah, they come out with the t-shirts. You know, you got the hustlers that be on the street like, Michael Jackson tee, I got that MJT, $20. I got that MJT, $20. Y'all know how it is. And I remember I was on the block of the Apollo, right? And I was walking down the block with my mother, and there was all these people, but right on the side, there was all these street vendors, and they were selling shirts. And I seen the guy was wearing this one. And I was like, Mom, look at that shirt. He had a black one like this, and he had a white one. But you know, the black one really stands out. And I was just like, I don't know. And I noticed because every time I used to wear the shirt, people would just stop and be like, where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? And I would get so many compliments on it. this is a webcam, so you can't really see the quality, but in person, this really pops. You can still see it through here, but when you see it in person, it really pops out, and it's like it's too noticeable not to say nothing. I remember my mother was like, "Oh, that's a nice one." So we went to the table, and he was like, "Oh, I only got an extra large left," and I was like,
Oh my God.
now I was 13 at the time, right? I wasn't the skinniest, but I wasn't big. Extra large, especially when I was 13, it used to like drape on me. This shirt used to drape on me like almost like a shirt dress almost. And I was just like, me and my mother stood there for like 10 seconds, and she was like, "Do you really want this?" And I was like, "Yes." But then I was like, "It's gonna be too big on me," and I was like, "Ah." It was this whole decision thing I had in my head. And I was like, "Mom, I want it." So she got it for me anyway. It fit me big. I used to walk around. It used to almost go like to my knees, but this shirt was too good to pass up. And I've thought about wearing this shirt in many previous videos, but I said, no, I'm gonna save this shirt for a special video, and this is a special video. And I remember every time I would wear this shirt, I would always get a compliment, and people would just be like, and then people would stop and tell me little stories about Michael Jackson. And I was 13, 14, 15. I remember walking through the street, people like, "Where did you get that shirt from?" And this is just like a special memory. So wearing this shirt brings me back to that time, and it was just like, wow. Just thinking about all the history this one shirt has, and being able to wear it for this video, to talk about it 12 years later, everything comes full circle sometimes. Going back into another story time I have is, like I told y'all many times before, in high school, one of the things I was known for was being smart. I got good grades. But another thing was, people knew I was a big Michael Jackson fan. The teachers knew, the students knew, the deans knew, the administrators in the office knew. If it's one thing you knew about Tony Turner, oh, he gets good grades and he's a Michael Jackson fan. It was like, come on. And it wasn't like I was running around like Michael Jackson, but it's just like certain things. We had dress up day. I always dressed up Michael Jackson. I always talked about him. I used to do like the acting and like some talent shows. It was just a thing. You know how certain people in high school, you remember them for certain things? I feel like people will remember me for being smart, being a Michael Jackson fan. My close friends know me for so much more, but I mean, I don't feel bad about being remembered for that. I mean, come on, it's Michael Jackson. But anyway, I remember sitting at lunch, right? And this is maybe 10th grade, so this is 2010, almost a year after everything happened. And I used to sit at lunch with this girl. We weren't like the best of friends, but she was like my associate. We was friends. Our friends were friends with each other, so we always sat with each other. So we always talked to each other, and we was always at lunch together. At the lunch table, you sit with a group. She was a part of that group. We always talked, and I remember her Sweet 16 party was coming up, right? Wait, watch when I tell you the story. Her Sweet 16 party was coming up, and I used to talk my shit at lunch. Like, I was a shit talker. Like, especially, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go crazy at your party. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be dancing. And then I came up with this, oh, if you throwing some Michael Jackson, oh, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy. Like, just really hyping it up. Like, oh yeah, if you throwing a Michael Jackson song, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And she was like, oh really? Okay, all right. And I'm just joking around. Everybody laughing, and I'm like, okay, Sweet 16. And of course, people play Michael Jackson at parties. People play his music at parties. But Sweet 16, I'm thinking she gonna play like the hottest songs out, whatever. She not gonna really play no Michael Jackson. Not to say that Michael Jackson's music wasn't for parties, but y'all know what I'm saying. At that time, you having a Sweet 16, you want to play the hottest music, not like beat it. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I was talking all this shit for days leading up to her party. No, weeks and days leading up to her party. I was talking all this shit, all this rah-rah. Oh yeah, you throwing some Michael Jackson? I'm gonna go crazy, la la la. So mind you, what I said, right? The night of her party, I remember we was at the party, everything was cool. And what did I wear? I think I wore like a regular shirt, I wore some jeans, and I wore some Timbs, some Timberland boots. Y'all know how heavy and stocky them boots are. And everybody was having a good time, and I remember she had like a chocolate fountain with strawberries, and we was dancing and partying and just having fun and talking and drinking juice. I'm a Sweet 16, right? and everything was going fine. And maybe an hour into the party, right? An hour into the party, all of a sudden, it was one of those times when I take a break and I'm sitting down and I'm drinking my juice. I was on my phone doing whatever, right? You know how you are. Sometimes at a party, I'm not the type to dance the whole time. Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, whew, okay, let me just sit and relax. And then, a certain song come on and you jump back up and start dancing. Why was I sitting down on my phone, drinking my juice, just relaxing? Some other people sitting down, some people still dancing. All of a sudden, I hear I hear the instrumental to Billie Jean, and I'm like,
Wait a minute, hold up!
in my head, I'm like, no, this bitch doesn't. No, this bitch, she really gonna play Michael Jackson? And I was excited, but I was like, oh shit. I was talking all this shit about dancing and doing this, and like I was gonna put on a performance. She really started playing Billie Jean. All of us, because it was Wiz Khalifa and Nicki Minaj and all these other. All of a sudden, you hear Billie Jean. I'm like, I was like, in my head, I was panicking. I was like, and then all of a sudden, she gets up. She like, Tony, hey, Tony, I told you I was gonna play it, and I'm sitting there, and I got up, and why? When I got up, everybody else got up and formed a circle around me. Like I was gonna put on a performance, like I was gonna put on a show, and mind you, I was talking my shit, right? So everybody gathered around me in a circle, and the song is just playing. It's to the part where like a beauty queen from movies, all of that, and I'm just like,
Trying to get me kicked off. I can't even eat. I thought the chicken was lovely. How was your chicken?
like, oh my god. So it gets to the chorus where he's like, "They always tell me, be careful what you," and I was like, oh shit. And mind you, I stood there for like 10 seconds, just like, oh. To my right, there's people looking at me, cheering me on, and the whole party was focused on me. And I had I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had on this Michael Jackson shirt. I wore this shirt to her party. So this video is just coming full circle. And I had on my Timbs, so I couldn't really dance like I wanted to. You know how chunky and heavy Timbs are. So I'm like, and I don't know what it was, but something came over me, and I got that feeling, I got that energy, I got that spirit of Michael Jackson, and I felt like, you know how Michael Jackson was shy and this and that, but when he got on stage, he performed, he gave his all, and I talked all this shit, and people knew I was a Michael Jackson fan, and I used to do my little dances and stuff, but now that the party was focused on me, she put out this whole segment, she purposely put this song in the party just for me, and I'm just like, I don't want to ruin her party by being a party pooper or acting like I don't want to dance. Oh, I was just playing. Ooh.
I don't know, I just don't think this is like great for me. I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like, I can't take the pressure of it. But don't you think any job interview...
To me at the time, like I was in the middle, like I told y'all before. I was the most outgoing, I was the most shy. And at the party, I'm like, I wasn't the type to get up in front of the room, but I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I done talked all this shit, and let me show everybody what I was talking about, right? So I remember I started hyping. I was like, all right. I started doing this, and I remember I just did my little dance. And mind you, at this time, I used to watch Michael Jackson live performances all the time, like his Billie Jean performances, his Bad Tour performances, all his concerts, his live, his tours, everything. His award show performances. So what I did? I don't know what it was. Something, I know what Michael Jackson's talking about, where it's like, sometimes it's like a spiritual connection. Something came over me, and I didn't even think about, okay, what move am I going to do? I didn't even think about the moves. They just started coming out, and I started doing, he did his little kick, he did his little slide, I started doing this little shoulder thing, and I started like, why did I try to moonwalk in some Timbs? Imagine trying to moonwalk in some Timberland boots, and I remember what the party it was, where she had the party, it was concrete. So imagine trying to moonwalk in some Timbs on concrete, and all you heard was some, yo, I did a whole little performance. I did like a little robot, because y'all know how Michael Jackson, especially his early performances, he loved doing that little robot thing. I was just going crazy. And at first, it was a little awkward because everybody was looking at me like, are you going to dance? what the fuck? This is weird, just awkward. But I finally started dancing. Everybody was like, hey, hey, and it was just, oh my God, that's a memory I will never forget. And it's the fact that I was wearing this shirt when that happened, everything comes full circle, and I was just like, wow, like. And I don't know, that story came to me because this could have been a sad video. It was 12 years later. But I'm like, you know what? I wanted to tell y'all some fun story times about my time being a Michael Jackson fan. And this was in the earlier years. This is 2010. But it's just something about that time. It reminds me of when I first found out. But it also reminded me of how deep I got into Michael Jackson and how, you know, even in that moment, Sweet 16, like embarrassing, almost, it could have been an embarrassing moment. But thinking about Michael Jackson and just evoking his spirit and thinking about the performances off the top of my head, I just started going, moving and flowing and doing all, I was going crazy. I was going crazy, and it's just like, oh my God. So not a lot of people from school was at the party, but it was enough for people to be talking about it. I remember this was over the weekend. So that Monday, people was like, oh, Tony, people was coming up to me telling me, and I was like, wow, damn, all right. I really wish somebody had recorded it so I could like show y'all the clip, but it was just crazy. I'm just like, wow. And it just makes me go back to that time of when I was really heavily invested in learning about Michael Jackson, studying him and looking at his interviews and looking at his dance and really dissecting everything about him and his talent. And it's just like, wow. Not only knowing Michael Jackson, the artist, but knowing Michael Jackson, the person, or at least the persona that he put out for the public, you know? Because at the end of the day, we don't know these celebrities. We don't know Michael Jackson. We don't know Janet Jackson. We don't know the Jackson family. We just know the personas that they put out for us. And you know, you take what you want from it. So that was just some fun stories I have for y'all in my beginning stages of really becoming a Michael Jackson fan. And I'm just happy I was able to share this story 12 years later. Did I think I was going to be doing YouTube videos 12 years later like I am now talking about this? No. But just that whole moment, that whole experience, that nostalgia I get from just thinking about it, that whole time in my life, it's just like, wow, you know. And I really want to know, like, y'all stories of being Michael Jackson fans. And, you know, like, were you a big fan of Michael Jackson before his death? Or did you become a bigger fan after? Like, what was y'all stories of becoming a Michael Jackson fan? You know, I know a lot of different age groups and demographics watch me, so this should be a really interesting answers. This should be some really interesting answers to that question. And I just want to know, over the last 12 years, what can you take away from Michael Jackson's life and career? And what are some fun moments y'all have of being a Michael Jackson fan? Whether it was, you know, like my school stories, or being in school, or doing this, or with the shirt, or, you know, being in public doing this, or some interaction you had online, or whatever, like with your family, your friends, anything. Like, what are some fun stories y'all have of being Michael Jackson fans, or anything Michael Jackson related? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. This was just my tribute to Michael Jackson. And I know people saying tribute, but no, I don't want it to be sad. I want it to be celebratory. I want it to be fun. And this was a fun video. I thought it's spontaneous. I'm literally talking off the top of my head. So sorry if this seems a little bit jumbled, but this was just a fun video I wanted to do for y'all. I wore this shirt. It has so much history in it. This is the exact same shirt I got 12 years ago. And to put it on and to do this video, I'm just getting like, I'm getting chills just even talking about this. And like, really, let me know, what are some fun moments y'all have of being Michael Jackson fans? And just, let's really talk about it in the comments. Let's celebrate Michael Jackson. It's been 12 years. His legacy, his estate is not in the best of place, but it's better than most. And let's really celebrate Michael Jackson in the comments. Because Michael Jackson was a once-in-a-lifetime artist. There's never going to be another artist like him. And he has a legacy that, even though people try to destroy it and do this and demean him and defame him, his legacy will never die. All right? People tried to knock him down so much, but he's still thriving. That's always going to be an inspiration to me. Besides liking his music, besides liking his dancing, you know, just the Michael Jackson story from when he was a child to him being 50 years old and then This Is It tour and everything in between is always going to be an inspiration for me. And I'm always going to show my love for Michael Jackson. I'm always going to show my admiration. I'm always going to show the impact that Michael Jackson had. And let's talk about it down below. 12 years later, but his legacy is stronger than ever. I'm grateful, I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's give him the praise he deserves for what he gave us. So please, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.